Reproduction. Reproduction is a process by which mature individuals produce offspring of the same species. Reproduction is one of the characteristics of all living things. All living things do reproduce organisms of the same kind. Now, why is reproduction important to living organisms? There are two main reasons why reproduction is very important. The first one is the perpetuation of the species. The perpetuation of the species is important so that they do not become extinct. It brings about replacement of members of the species that die, since individual organisms have a limited lifespan. So, because individual organisms have what you can describe as limited lifespan, it is important that an individual member of the species reproduces so that when its life comes to an end, it will have offspring that will survive it. The second reason why reproduction is important is that it brings about improvement of quality of the species. This is especially so where there is mixing of genetic materials from different individuals. So, when you have, for example, like sexual reproduction that involves coming together or bringing together of genetic materials from different organisms, then the resulting offspring may be of a higher quality than either of the two parents. Now, there are two different types of reproduction. These are named one, sexual reproduction, and the second one is asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gametes. In the first type, the sexual reproduction, it involves the coming together or the fusion of sex cells that are known as gametes. But in asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gametes. Instead, a part of a mature organism divides and develops into an individual, free-living organism. For example, in amoeba, one parent cell divides into two. Then the two daughter cells grow, and upon attaining maturity, each one divides into two. And so the cycle repeats itself going on and on. So amoeba is a single-celled organism that reproduces asexually, that is, without involving gametes. Other organisms that also reproduce asexually include Hydra. Hydra is an organism, which belongs to the animal kingdom and the phylum Coelenterata. Hydra reproduces asexually, whereby just a part of the body develops an outgrowth, which is known as a bud, and then this bud falls off and grows to become an independent individual. So no fusion of gametes is involved. Whereas the other type of reproduction is known as sexual reproduction, that involves fusion of male and female gametes or sex cells to form a zygote. So in this particular case, for example, in humans, we have the male gamete, known as a sperm, and the female gamete, the ovum. These two combine during fertilization to produce a zygote that develops into an embryo, then the embryo into a baby. The baby is a young stage of a human being. So in sexual reproduction, be it in animals like human beings or plants, there is the involvement of sex cells. Sex cells that are also known as gametes. So these are produced, then they fuse together during the process of fertilization to form a zygote. Zygote is the first cell that is formed from fertilization. Then the zygote cell divides, producing more and more cells that develop into an embryo, and then the embryo into the organism. So this occurs both in animals and in plants.